that was nice. We talked about a couple of video games because, let's be honest, we're going to be talking about one video game for the most of today's show. But before we do that, Michael Mahardy,
hey,
you're a person who enjoys civilizations. You are currently in one right now. You're flying to another one pretty soon.
Yeah.
And then to another one after that.
Yeah.
Germany, Gamescom.
And then back to another one.
Can you fly to a
Portland,
place
Oregon.
that doesn't have a civilization?
South Sudan.
They don't have they're not
No,
civilized?
they
Is
do.
that
No,
what
they are civilized. Actually, that's a... You know what? Let's not get into that one. It's a particularly touchy subject. But Civilization 6 you played. Did you see a little coy look down? Because I forgot which one it was.
Yeah. First number one in a while now.
Right.
Since what, 5 or something?
God damn it. They went off and did their Beyond Earth thingy. There was an expansion for that as well.
Rising Tide,
Rising Tide, yeah. Late last year or was it early this year?
It was October, I think, last year.
Okay. Yeah. So, Fair Access, I mean, they put out XCOM as well a couple of months back, so they're no strangers to putting out big games. But Civilization 6, first one in a little while. I guess this is the Fair Access game. It is their like sort of darling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most basic question to ask. First of all, what is new in this one? Because it looks relatively familiar. The only major difference I've seen so far is around the cities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're doing what they call unstacking cities. So it's hard to talk about Civilization without sounding boring. Like aside for people that don't love it. So essentially the cities used to be on one hex tile on these maps, like these chessboard maps. Now, instead of like every time you build a new building throughout your entire playthrough, which could last like 8 hours, the universities, the barracks won't all go on one tile. There would be these different districts that go up. So like you're taking up more than one tile. So it's actually one of those things that affects way more than you might think. Rob Handler and I both played about 4 hours, 150 turns the other day. And it took us 4 hours to do that because we were learning so many new things in this new game. But, you know, Civ 5 unstacked military units, so you can't just have this massive army on this one tile of death, they called it.
Right.
Now the cities, you'll have to wait until you build like a campus district, so you can build a university, you know, like an observatory, the science, the actual buildings. You know, same thing with encampments. You'll build an encampment, then you can build like the barracks and the actual like training grounds for soldiers. What this does is not only makes you consider the map more because you get adjacency bonuses. So if you build an aqueduct next to a river, but also next to a university, it's going to get a bonus.
Oh, cool. So the observatory, like up high on a mountain or something?
Exactly. So if you build a campus next to a mountain range, like you'll get a bonus to your science output. So
they kind of encourage you to put a city close to a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, so you want to group certain things. Like encampments do really well on their own, though, because this actually affects the military strategy of the game. I'm not traditionally a military player. I like culture, for people unfamiliar with Civilization. Essentially, you just like build up like Hollywood. You build up your entertainment industry. You build up your great artists, thinkers. You use these people to pretty much influence other civilizations to follow you, like kind of idolize you. But military now, instead of just attacking one city tile and laying siege to that, it's a little more strategic. Because if you're near these two mountain ranges, you can put an encampment right between them, like Thermopylae, and kind of close off the gap.
Yeah.
So not only do you have to attack the city, but you also have to worry about troops coming out of the encampment.
Right.
And then if you look at a city and you know for a fact, if your spies are telling you that like Marseille is a science-inclined city and it's giving the French Catherine de Medici in this game. She's not French. Just a cool story behind her. But
yeah, Italian.
Yeah, but she like married into the French royal family in the late 18th
century. Is that Lorenzo's
century.
sister?
Maybe.
Everyone knows Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, I know a guy named Lorenzo that works at Vapiano's.
Yeah, Vapiano's.
Yeah, Vapiano's.
Likes to blow those sweet coils.
Yeah.
Does that work? I don't know.
What? I don't know.
So talking about No Man's Sky yet? I can't tell.
So you'll attack a city and you'll know that's a huge scientific city and they have a lot of advanced technology. So you'll be like, all right, I'm going for Marseille because I can see they have a really flourishing campus district as well as a few wonders, which are their own tile as well.
Oh, so you can take the city and take all that stuff as well?
You can attack certain districts at a time before you even get to the palace tile.
Okay.
So that's where it becomes strategic. If you want to just halt their scientific production without actually eliminating them and using the military force, you can just take their campus district, defend it, hold it.
That's cool.
And that'll like boost you in science. Same thing with like I don't know, like aqueducts. If it's a huge city that's population is like booming, you can just go for the aqueducts, the harbors. Yeah, if it's a naval city, you can. I think there's a dockyard district. I don't know. There's a bunch we didn't try, but it makes you consider the map a lot more down the road because each city is a little more specialized. And one of the main tenets with Civilization 6 that Fair Access is going for is making each playthrough different, which sounds like a marketing thing. But the thing is, with Civ 5, you could essentially follow the same pattern if you wanted to toward victory every time.
Yes.
This, there's another thing that they're doing with this, not just the unstacking cities, but active research, which essentially functions like this list of side quests, which there already were in Civ 5. But now, you know, you'll be researching a new technology, and it'll tell you right under it what you could do to boost that. So you have to wait like 5 or 10 less turns, which is huge. If you're like researching construction, if you happen to build a quarry in that time, it'll just give you the technology. So what I found in those 3 or 4 hours we were playing, every turn there was much more to consider, but there's also less waiting this time around. A lot of problems that every Civilization game has structurally is that the first 100 turns are really fun. You're figuring out where you want to go with your civilization. The last 100 turns are that victory rush when everybody's going for cultural, economic, scientific victories. But those middle turns can kind of get boring because you're having you might be in this battle up north, but also waiting those 12 turns for space exploration. Now there's just with that active research side quest tab, you can keep boosting things that will also make you maybe branch out of your comfort zone. Unstacking cities is more to consider when you're attacking, defending cities, and just when you're building them in general. So the fact that they're designing it around the pillar of making each playthrough different actually rang true for the few hours we played. It was Rob's first Civilization. I think he found the same thing. He was learning not just Civ 6's new rules, but the Civilization Foundation. Yeah,
totally. I mean, even when you're talking about these games, these are the conversations we have.
Yeah,
it's like there's two ways to have this conversation. There's one with people who know about Civ, which is like this super, there's like a bunch of people in the chat probably being like, what does any of this mean? So I guess for newcomers, do you think it's in any way less, I feel like XCOM was one of those great games that broke people into a genre they may not have otherwise touched. The reboot of that game was perfect for fans like me who love the old games, but also were accessible enough as well. Is that even can you do that with Civ? Is there anything about this game that's more accessible? I mean, how it looks already, I think, is probably a bit more easy on the eye.
Yeah, it's like a combination of Civilization Revolution, the console version's art style, with Civ 5, but they wanted more character to it because, I think it was Ed Beach, the lead designer. So actually, one more behind the scenes thing is really exciting with this is that the two expansions for Civ 5, Brave New World and Gods and Kings, were widely lauded, and they are said to have made Civ 5 the game it should have been at launch. The teams that made those expansions combined, and they're making 6.
Right, and then the creative guy, Edge,
that's him. He's leading this up. Sid Meier's not attached to this. He's just a supervisor, as usual lately. But they are.
He just stands behind him, whipping.
Yeah, exactly. Just pretending an idea was his. No, I'm kidding. He seems like a great.
He's a very nice person. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah. They're essentially. It's cool because they're making a new game, the Foundation, not editing an existing game now. So it's cool to see what they're doing. But yeah, one of their things is every civilization is potentially the first civilization for somebody, Rob Handler in this case. And there are tutorials in place, but they're also kind of the fact that it's different. Each turn, there's a lot more to consider. They said the learning curve is actually a little easier because you're not doing these things in the first 100 turns and being I have no idea what I just did, and then having these boring middle turns, and then coming to victory rush. You're what the hell is happening? It's kind of easing you into it. So yeah, you'll probably have to play 10 hours before you start really getting the loop. But that's one of the rewarding things about the game. It's still entertaining because you have espionage, you have diplomacy. To not go too deep into it, diplomacy is really good now because they've always tried to make these other leaders characters in themselves that you can actually interact with and manipulate and figure it out. But now they have historical agendas. So Teddy Roosevelt will always do the speak softly, carry a big stick. He'll bully you if you're too close to his borders, but he will fight you. But they also have hidden agendas that you have to figure out yourself through spies or just what they're doing. So if you know Qin Shi Huang, I think, the Chinese leader, is building a lot of settlers. You'd be okay, he's trying to expand. Now I got to take up the real estate while I have time. Right. So it's really, there's a lot of things feeding into this that seem minor at first, but actually have these ripple effects that kind of affect the overall turn to turn and playthrough to playthrough rhythm of the game.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah.
Civilization 6, Peter Brown.
Hi.
When did the first Civilization come out?
First Civilization came out 1991.
Okay, that's nice work.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 25th year anniversary this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I didn't know that.
Nice work. That's impressive.
Thank you.
It's my 25th year anniversary this year.
I was about to say, how old are you?
I'm as old as Civilization.
That was the setup, but you just did it for me.
Yeah.
When were you born in 1991?
September 22nd. First day of fall.
Same month.
Same birthday as Bilbo and Frodo Baggins. I'm not kidding.
God damn it.
Not kidding.
I'm
They're
not
fake
kidding.
people.
Will you go to Europe already?
They're fucking not real.
I'll go to Europe.
That's not impressive.
All right,
I'll go to
Bye.
Europe.
I had two friends who were born the same day as Hitler.
What day is that?
Well, not the same day, the same year. Same day be weird. I didn't go to school with two 80-year-old German.
Your friends were born the same year as
Austrian,
Hitler?
damn it. Had the same birthday as Hitler.
Same birthday as Randall Cunningham. Go Eagles.
I think Civ is just slightly older than you. September 1991. Probably. I'm guessing not the start of September. So.
I kicked off the fall release schedule that year for babies.
First game out, Mike Mahardy.
I feel like March is the fall of baby is being born. That's like when all my friends were born. It's March.
March?
My family too. A bunch of
Summer
huge Irish
sex.
family.
Summer loving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a New Year's baby. Oh, never mind. I hope my mom's not watching this.
Love your mom.
We could just ask her. You could just ask her when she, I was a happy accident.
Same.
Me too.
Yeah?
I was
Yeah.
6
Amen.
years.
My siblings are way older.
6 years after my brother.
I asked if I was an accident, and their response is no, you were a bonus.
No, my dad literally used the phrase happy accident. So at least he said happy.
Dad goes, no, you were a mistake.
Yeah.
Civilization 6. Out soon.
October 21st, same day as Battlefield 1.
Same day as Battlefield 1 and Hitler's birthday. There you go, folks. It's definitely not. I don't think. Is it close? Let's check it out. We can cut that segment off like already. Hitler's. Oh, no, April 20th. Okay. I got excited because I saw 20. But actually, it was about 6 months away. It's about as far as you can possibly go. Okay.